Here we go. So this is a new 2022 Toyota Camry XLE. Exterior color on this one is blueprint. So in this video I'm going to dive inside and we'll take a look at the interior features. Be sure and catch video number 1, the exterior. But for today, interior, the color, Chateau. So behind the wheel of the Camry for 2022 XLE edition, this is the luxury trim in the Camry. So you do have a leather wrapped steering wheel. This one does also have a heated steering wheel. It's part of the cold weather package, and the switch is right down here to be able to turn that on and off, the cold weather package. That also includes heated front seats, 3 different temperature settings. Now, as far as the switches here on the steering wheel, information center controls are right here, and you have a 7.1-inch information center right there. We'll cover that in just a second here. Bluetooth connectivity for your smartphone, voice activation, sound controls for your radio. Notice the steering wheel does have some of that brushed aluminum trim on it as well. Over on this side of the steering wheel, we've got our cruise control, our dynamic radar cruise control settings, lane departure on and off, and then we can change the radio stations right here as well. Of course, we also have a driver's side airbag inside here. On this side of the steering wheel are the controls for your front washer wiper, and we do have intermittent wipers up front. And then over here on the left hand side of the steering wheel, we've got our headlight controls. Just a reminder, we have automatic on and off. So when you turn the car off, it'll shut the headlights off or turn them on when you turn the car on. And then we also have automatic high beam on and off switch down here. So that'll turn the high beam from high to low for oncoming traffic or if you're following behind somebody. Now here's your instrument cluster. On the left we have the tachometer and temperature gauge, speedometer and fuel gauge on the right. Later in the video I'm going to do it in the dark so you can see the lighting in the dark. And then right in smack dab in the middle is that 7.1-inch multi-information center. And if you want to toggle through items, you can do that right here on the steering wheel. So I'm just going to go ahead and move through a couple of the features here. I'll back up a little bit. So way at the top, there's your fuel economy and trip computer and such. Then we have a compass, then our sound system settings, then our pre-collision or our safety settings. So you got pre-collision, parking assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. So all the top of the line safety features are on the XLE package here. And then finally down at the bottom we have some settings so you can personalize the vehicle for your liking in terms of what safety settings you actually want deployed as you're driving it. Take a look over at the center console and the center stack. So this does have the JBL audio system. So we've got the premium navigation with points of interest and such on there. Also the JBL sound system, which has additional speakers. There's a couple extras up here in the A pillar, and then of course you get them down in the doors, and then back in the trunk you'll see later there's a subwoofer. As far as features on the sound system itself, you do have AM FM, also Sirius satellite radio. So you get 3 months of the platinum subscription, no charge, and then you have to pay a fee after that. And then of course we do have that dynamic navigation, which is part of the package. That system with the JBL is a little over $1,700 extra. Now as far as the dashboard itself, Toyota uses a lot of this gloss or piano black trim. It looks really nice, but I have to say it does show the dust a little bit. And this car is brand new and clean, and it does show the dust. I like the way the dashboard kind of sweeps away on here, and so that trim comes up over. There's some gunmetal gray trim here, and then they have this wood applique right in the center, and then finally the padded dashboard down below with the contrast stitching Here's a quick look at the glove box down here as well. And the glove box does not have a lock on it. And then we'll take a look at our heating and air conditioning controls. They're going to be right here. So we do have front window defrost. We also have rear window defrost. And the rear window defrost is also going to get the ice and snow off of the outside mirrors when that's turned on. As far as the temperature controls themselves, we do have separate driver controls and separate front passenger controls, or we can tap this button right here and it will sync them up so they're identical. We can also turn actually, I'm sorry I said that. No, we can't turn this one off. We can only adjust it separate from there. Here's your push button start on your ignition, and then way down below, let me go ahead and throw this into reverse first. I want to show you the backup camera. This does have the 360 camera and the bird's eye, and also has path projection, so you can see all the way around the car, and the vehicle actually does a perimeter scan for you, and you can also change the perspective to what you want to see on the screen by tapping these buttons right here. So stop by the dealership, give this sound system a good listen, and check out the navigation system as well. So down below here, there's a USB here, there's a 12 volt down here, and then there's a little landing spot here, but if you turn it on, that's a wireless charging for your smartphone. So if you have a wireless smartphone, you just turn this on, drop your phone on there, and it will charge without having to plug it in up here. But you still have the plug option if that's what you're looking for or what you need. And then down below here, there's a storage compartment. It's kind of hidden away, if you will. Our shifter is leather wrapped. As I mentioned in the other video, this is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It does have that pseudo manual mode, so if you want to shift through the gears yourself, you can do that. Totally up to you. There's 2 cup holders here. There's your Eco, Normal, and Sport buttons are down here, and there's a visual indicator for that Eco, Sport, and Normal. That's going to be up here in the gauge cluster over on the left there. You can see up right in here, it reads Sport, Normal's off, and then Eco mode. So you don't have to look down to see what mode you're in, although you should be able to tell automatically. The Sport mode's going to be a little more zippy. Here's your parking brake hold. We do have an electronic parking brake here. Notice that's turned on. And then over here are the heated seat controls and the ventilated seat controls. So these buttons are green when you're in the ventilated mode, and then they kind of turn to yellow when you're in the heated mode. And these controls are only on the front seats, front driver, front passenger seat. I'll swoop over, take a look at the center console and the armrest. So this is a pretty large armrest. It's padded. It does have that contrast stitching all the way around. And then when we pop it open, it's a huge armrest or a center console, so there's lots of space down in here. And then we do have a USB-C, and we also have a traditional USB port right there as well. So a couple of extra places to plug in addition to the 2 that we saw up here, the 12 volt and the USB. There's 4 places to plug in up front. Here's a quick look at the passenger seat. You can see that perforated leather, really comfortable seats. Passenger assist grip up here, lighted vanity mirrors on both sides, visor extensions on both sides. So I'd like to show you what it's like when you come to go to get into your car. You hit the unlock button. You're going to get the 2 flash indicator to indicate that the vehicle's unlocked. And then when we open the door, or get close to opening the door, notice that the interior lights slowly fade on. Gives you really nice illumination on the inside. The LED lights up here help that quite a bit. And so now once I'm in the car, we do have the push button start. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can see it's illuminated kind of in a pale blue color. And there's your Camry animation. Love the gauge cluster on the Camry. Really simple, easy to use, or read I should say. They're white backlit gauges, so you get your tach and your temperature, your information center here in the middle, and then your speedometer and your fuel gauge on the outside there. So super easy to see and read. This one does have the dynamic navigation, so that all comes on with the touchscreen. And then kind of as we go down, our temperature controls are down here. And then this is all faintly lit down here with our shifter, our parking brake, and then we've got some lights down here for our ventilated and our heated seats. Also, there's some lights here that tell us if there's passengers in the back, whether they have their seat belts on or not. And then notice the ambient lighting, the blue ambient lighting that they have all the way through here, including right at your door handles. So I really think that's a striking interior when you first come into here. Overhead, we've got the day-night mirror up here with your home link, so that all lights up. Your safety sense or your safety connect switch is lit up, so it's easy to find. And then we've got the LED lighting over onto the passenger side, and of course onto the driver's side as well. So a really nice complement of lights in here. Very subtle, very striking. You can see the ambient lighting over here on the door handle for the driver's door. Let me know in the comments if you like the light package. Well, the other thing that this one has is it has the heads-up display. And you can just barely see it up there, but in the heads-up display we've got our speedometer, we've got a compass, we've got our gas gauge, and our gear setting. So when I'm sitting behind the wheel, that's projected right up into the windshield with the heads-up display. Here's a quick look at the driver's compartment from the back seat. You can see that awesome panoramic moonroof that just continues all the way back here into the back seat, and it really gives a lot of light back here, so it gives it a nice open feel. And this light colored leather interior just makes the car feel much larger than it is, although it is a full-size 5-passenger sedan. So you'll see here that I've got this seat folded down. This is 60% of the rear seat can be folded down. Just wanted to show you that. It leads back into the trunk. Bring that up, and we find the center armrest has 2 cup holders. Bring that up. By the way, this one is sold. We can get more like it, but wanted to let you know that. There's 3 seat belts back here. Child safety anchors in the seats as well. These are perforated leather seats in the back. Adjustable headrest back here. Passenger assist grip up on the roof line, and LED lights, overhead lights here. Nice that they did include pockets in the backs of both seats. There's bottle holders on the doors, speakers, power window switches. Love those door handles with the brushed aluminum. They really tie that together nice. And then there are 2 vents back here. No temperature controls, you can turn it on and off. And then if you want, they don't include power ports for plugging in your phone, USB ports. They can be added at the dealership as a dealer installed feature. I hope that Toyota figures out everybody wants those and starts putting them in. I did want to show you the legroom here in the back seat. So I've got this seat all the way back, just to demonstrate how much legroom there still is in the back. So you've got a good 4+ inches of additional legroom, even with the front seat all the way back. And my guess is if somebody's sitting in the front seat and they've got it all the way back, they're probably well over 6 feet tall. So that's a quick look in the passenger compartment. Let's jump into the trunk. So at the back of the Camry, the trunk, there's a keyless remote that you can use to unlock the trunk. There's also a release pad built into the tailgate here. So right there. And you can also use your key over on this side. There's your backup camera. Now, first of all, on the deck lid itself, attention to detail. This is all insulated and padded. There's also an emergency release handle here if somebody gets stuck in the trunk, and you can see it's glow in the dark as well. So Toyota pays a lot of attention to safety on their cars. So the trunk has a nice low liftover height. I believe you could comfortably get 2 sets of golf clubs in here, perhaps 3, maybe even 4, depends on, of course, how long your drivers are. There are trunk release or seat releases right here, and that releases your 60/40 fold down seats in the back. Unfortunately, in order to fold those down, you do need to come up to the front. And now you can pull it down right here, and that seat does fold down flat. Quite easy to do that. And now that that's folded down, you can see there's a tremendous amount of space in there with regards to the length. So if you're running snow skis or fishing poles or garden tools, you can do that. Up underneath, there's your subwoofer, part of the JBL audio system. We do have a trunk light right there. The floor of the Camry is pretty flat, and it's wide at the 2 back spots here. There's a place for a cargo net right here, and then down underneath is where we'll find our spare tire and our toolkit. So there's your toolkit and the spare tire right there, temporary spare tire, but I think there's plenty of room underneath here for emergency equipment, jumper cables, first aid kit, what have you. So a nice big trunk, plenty of cargo room in the back of the Camry.